So my brothers and my sisters, as we embrace this urgency of creating the beloved community, now is the time to be love. Love means understanding, redemptive goodwill toward all which seeks nothing in return. So be love by implementing the demands of justice to eliminate the school to prison pipeline that has so many black children entrapped. Be love by correcting voting policies that seek to suppress the votes of millions of black and brown people. Be love and implement the demands of justice by transforming a society that is disproportionately violent toward black lives, including black transgendered lives and indigenous lives. Be love and correct false narratives and economic policies that continue to divide and pit poor and working class black and white people against each other. Be love and implement demands of justice where systems and structures are deconstructed and lead the way of living in community that reimagines just, humane, equitable, and sustainable policies, practices, and behaviors. Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them who hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and abuse you. Be love and do justice and love mercy and walk humbly with our God.
Students with King serves as the King Center's flagship engagement platform for elementary, middle, and high school students, highlighting the legacies of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mrs. Coretta Scott King, and the impact of the 20th century American Civil Rights Movement. Our dynamic and interactive programming has reached over 1 million students worldwide. Our core learning programs introduce students to the philosophy of Kingian nonviolence, coined Nonviolence 365, and provide important lessons about how they can apply nonviolence in their immediate environments. Whether you're an educator who is looking for ways to bring the King legacy into your classroom, a student who wants to learn more about this powerful moral movement, or a parent who wants to get your child involved in character building and literacy development activities, Students with King is your one-stop shop for unique lesson plans, teaching resources, educational field trips, and other opportunities to engage with the history of the American Civil Rights Movement and its powerful leaders. We look forward to engaging with you and your students. Together we can build the next generation of compassionate, courageous, and conscientious leaders.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to another edition of Students with King Reading Corner. I'm your moderator and host, Tyreek Wynn. Appreciate you guys so much tuning in. Y'all already know the drill. Y'all know how we kick things off, man. We kick things off with this state roll call, so make sure you go ahead, comment where you tuning in from. We want to know where y'all are watching from, so comment your state, your city, your classroom, all that good stuff, or your name, whatever the case may be. We want to know where you guys are tuning in from so we can shout y'all out, show y'all a little bit of love. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys, so y'all already know how we do on Students with King Reading Corner. Of course, we love you guys' feedback. So what we need you to do is we need you to scan this QR code and take our survey. This survey helps us get better at Students with King Reading Corner, lets us know what you guys are liking, all that good stuff. It really helps us improve here at the King Center and with Students with King Reading Corner so we can better serve you guys in a positive way. So we really appreciate that if you guys could scan this QR code to take the survey. If you don't get it now, it'll also be in the top corner as well, and you can scan it at any time throughout the broadcast too. So, guys, we have an amazing author that is joining us. He is no stranger to Students with King. It is Mr. Da'Nall Wilmer, who is an award-winning educator, mentor, and author from Baltimore, Maryland. And he is writing his book, or he writes about his experiences navigating the world as an introvert, teaching students how to become good leaders and obtain positive results while reaching their goals. Now, I mean, come on, you got to have somebody like this on this program. So he wrote The Good Book, A Kid's Guide to Becoming a Successful Student Leader. So this episode is going to be all about leadership, showing you guys how to be better leaders in the classroom. Guys, help me give a warm and amazing welcome to Mr. Da'Nall Wilmer. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Good to be with you today.
Yeah, good to be with you as well. Oh, hey, we got some Baltimore people tuning in,
okay.
Man.
All right, already. My hometown's in the house. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Denasia from Baltimore. We appreciate y'all so much tuning in this morning. Okay, so you got this amazing book, man, The Good Book, teaching students about leadership and all that good stuff. So let's get into this book reading.
All right, sounds good to me. Let's do it. All right, so this is the title of my very first children's book. It's called The Good Book, A Kid's Guide to Becoming a Successful Student Leader, by myself, Da'Nall Wilmer, and illustrated by Cameron Wilson. So this book is dedicated to a youth mentorship program that I started back in my hometown of Baltimore called Boys in the Good, and the many students who I have had the honor of teaching and mentoring, impacting your life has changed mine. Being a kid these days is not as easy as it seems. We have our future goals and even bigger dreams. Many kids our age have important shoes to fill, like being a student leader, which requires a major skill. No matter what goals we have when we grow into adults, being a good leader will always bring about good results. What better time for us to make a change than now? There are 4 key aims that will certainly show us how. Meet Carter, Deshaun, Jari, and Makai. Look closely, they're all well dressed, with each in a tie. A good first impression is impressive, as you can see. Professional appearance is great, but what you have inside is key. The first aim is giving. Have you heard of this before? Like being a gentleman and holding open the door. Giving back to those who may have less than you will make you feel much better about your own life too. Carter helps with the food drive at his school each year. He always supports his teammates with a loud and prideful cheer. When a new student arrived and had not much to say, Carter welcomed them at recess and asked if they would play. Here's the important part about giving that every kid should learn. People who earnestly give expect nothing in return. Being a good leader could be simple if you try, but that's not all it takes, and Deshaun will show you why. Optimism is the second aim that every kid should know. It means having a positive attitude even when things seem low. Trying your best to smile each day and focusing on the good will make you feel much better, as Deshaun once understood. When things just didn't seem quite right one afternoon at school, he didn't once complain, and that made him feel really cool. He let his failures motivate him and worked harder to improve when he didn't get a good grade that his father would approve. Negative thoughts may set in when things don't go our way, but good leaders should be positive and mind what they say. Deshaun always tells himself that things will be just fine. Even when it rains outside, the sun will sooner or later shine. Remember when you met Jari? He had on a tie? That's because he's a student leader, and he's also pretty fly. Standing out from the crowd while others act the same It's the reason why originality is the next and third aim. Many kids today will do whatever it takes to fit in. Why not try something new and set a unique and positive trend? Many kids don't know that they can be great role models too. So set a good example and mentor a kid who is younger than you. Instead of making bad decisions on the way home from school, Jari left his friends and went to obey his parents' every rule. Recognizing your real friends is what good leadership is about. Ask yourself, why fit in when you were born to stand out? The final aim to share with you will put you to the test. It's called determination, and it's just as important as the rest. Keep your focus on your goals, even when things seem tough. Good leaders try their hardest and never give up, though the challenges may be rough. Makai has many dreams and aspirations that he loved to fulfill, like growing up to be a football player with each amazing skill. Makai knows it is valuable to have a backup plan, so he studies hard and practices football as often as he can. Student leaders strive for excellence and they always set a high goal. The key is challenging yourself, and that's what good leaders know. Striving to excel in your studies first is very important without a doubt. That is what determination is really all about. There's no better time for you to prepare for what is next. The choices we make and actions we take all have great effects. Giving, optimism, originality, and determination are all aims that are important for kids like us across the nation. What are your goals, dreams, and big plans for tomorrow? Try becoming a successful leader, and the rest will surely follow. Kids have the power to change the world, just like adults could. Leadership changed our lives, and that's what makes us boys in the good. The end. The end.
I mean, but yeah, that was fantastic, man. I love that. I love that story. It talks about the leadership, and you had the different words in there, like the determination, the giving, and all that stuff, which is really important. I want to hit on giving first because we are in a season where this is the time of the year where a whole bunch of people like to give back, going to feed families and all this other stuff. And then the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, we got Giving Tuesday as well. So talk to us a little bit more about giving, especially around the holidays and this time of year. Why is it so important to give?
Yeah, absolutely. So this kind of goes back to the program that I started when I taught in Baltimore. I wanted to teach kids the importance of giving, not just during the holidays, but at all times. And like I said in the book, giving in turn makes you feel better about yourself. I believe that our duty here on earth is to give back to others. That's essentially the rent that we pay for living, because there are so many people that may not be as fortunate as you. And the more that you're blessed, the more that you acquire, and the more successful you are, it's very important to give to others. And that in turn helps the world succeed and achieve more.
Yeah. I think that's very important. And talking about giving and stuff, can you may give some examples to the students that may be watching? Maybe they might be trying to figure out, okay, like he's talking about giving. Maybe what are some examples that the students can use, or some examples where the students can actually go and do these things to give back to the community?
Yeah, it's something as simple as, I know every community has, you can easily find clothing drive. Kids, they grow out of their clothes really fast. So instead of throwing your clothes away, why not put it in a bag and maybe take it to a Goodwill or some kind of charity? Because there are some kids that, may not have as many clothes as they need, especially as it gets cold outside, like coats and jackets and things like that. There's different food drives in different communities. Food food insecurity is really high all across our country. So giving something as simple as, canned foods and things like that, that can really help other families that may not be as fortunate. So it's something very simple. And if you, even at school, if you have an extra snack, give it to someone who may not have as much for lunch or something like that. So there's so many different ways you can give, whether big or small.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, we got a comment from Nicole Adams, says great story and reading. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, we got Desi Weber says that was great. Appreciate you tuning in.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have a question. What led the author to want to write books initially?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. So, like I mentioned, my first book I'm the author of 3 books. I have the good book, the great book, and the best book, which actually came out last year. So I wrote my first book, the good book, which I just read, because when I began my mentorship program, I had so many other schools and so many other communities and organizations that wanted to implement what I was doing in my mentorship program at their organizations or in their schools. But I wasn't quite ready to expand just yet. So I figured, what can I do to creatively get our message and Boys in the Good out, not only to other communities, but to the world? And I woke up one morning and I said, I should write a children's book. And that's what I did. I did my research and I learned how to self-publish. And I just basically try to outline all the things that I taught my boys and just try to influence others in a creative way how to do the same. So that's how I became a children's book author. It wasn't planned. It just came to me, and I've been writing books ever since.
That's fantastic. I love that, man. It's and then not you don't have just one book. You got several books. I mean, that's what it's all about. You doing your thing,
Definitely. And what's funny is that wasn't the plan. I thought I was going to be done with the good book, and then I was just inspired to write another book. I have my second book, which I read last year for Students with King. This is the great book. And then I also have the best book, which also came out recently. So I'm all about encouraging kids outside of the classroom. There are so many ways that we can teach our youth to be better and do better. And I believe that especially children of color, they deserve to see themselves in literature. And that was another inspiration behind writing these books. So yeah, it's been a great journey.
Yeah, fantastic. Definitely good stuff there. And then also, guys, if you have a question, please make sure you comment or put your question in the chat. Also, we got the QR code as well. That's in the top corner of the page. So make sure you guys scan that QR code and fill out the survey. We also got another question from Riri269. Will you be writing more books in the future?
What's funny? Like I said, I did not plan to write a second or a third book, but I was just so inspired to get a message out. I don't want to write a book just to write it. It has to come from the heart. So if I'm led or inspired in some way to write another book, then I'll go for it.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's fantastic. And so you also talked about determination in the book, right? That was one of the words that was in bold. So I want to talk to you about determination, right? What are some ways that kids can be determined? What are some things, like what are some good strategies? Maybe there's a goal that a kid has in mind, but they're just trying to figure out how to be determined about it, or how to be determined to reach a certain point. What's some advice you can give there?
The advice that I can give is to start small. When you want to achieve and maybe acquire better habits, you don't have to go all in right away. I mean, kind of take your time, think about what you want to do, and kind of start small. I know for me, one of the things that I struggle with is exercising. So I've been trying to do a lot better with that. But I said, you know what? Maybe I could start small and create some kind of habit in order to achieve that goal and get physically fit. So that's what I do. Maybe, I start maybe walking a little bit, and then from walking, I'll start running. So as long as you're being consistent and kind of starting small, and that will create determination for you to achieve your goals.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what's up. I wish I could stay consistent in the gym. I mean, I'll be in there, and it's just like you go one day, and then it's like, you be trying to go the next day, and then scheduling it just be crazy.
Oh man, especially when you have so much going on, it can get tough.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. Got to remember your why.
For sure. And we got another question from Denasia. How is your organization, Boys in the Good, doing now? Many years has it been running? How many years has it been running?
Oh yeah, so I actually founded Boys in the Good in 2016. So it's been running strong for several years now. I started my teaching career in Baltimore, and I ended up moving to Atlanta. That's where I live now, and that's where I teach now. But I wanted to make sure that the program stayed where it was, and I didn't stop it or anything like that. So it's still going strong, and I would love to eventually bring it down here to Atlanta. So that's going back to determination. That's one goal that I have.
Yeah. Fantastic, man. I want to talk to you about this too. So I noticed in the book, right, there were the students that were dressed up. Okay. And in the book, you were talking about, standing out with the clothes that you wear and stuff like that. So what I want to ask you is, or at least I don't know how it is now in the school system, but I know when I was in school, which wasn't that many years ago, we had to wear uniform and stuff. And that was, I went to private and I went to public, and I had to wear uniform in both. So if we're for the kids that are like wearing uniforms, what are some ways that they can stand out if everybody, quote unquote, looks the same and wearing the same thing?
Oh, wow. So that's a good question too. At the school I teach at, our students have to wear uniforms. Okay. But the thing is that it's not always about the uniform. It's how you present yourself outside of that, such as making sure you have a nice haircut, or you make sure that you have great hygiene, making sure your uniform is actually ironed or steamed, like things like that. So even if you are required to wear certain clothes, there's ways to make sure that, you still come correct, essentially, and just make sure you're clean, make sure you're good to go. Those are ways that you can definitely ensure that you're standing out, just doing the best with what you have to do.
That's great. That's great. I like that. And back to determination. I would when I was in school, I used to hate ironing my clothes every day. I'm like, I just could not find the determination to iron those clothes. I'm just like, iron it. I just be like, I just don't feel like doing it.
I get it. It can be so tedious.
Yeah, especially like, and then trying to get every single last wrinkle out.
Right.
It'd be a lot, man. So guys, those of y'all, appreciate y'all so much staying tuned in with us. Make sure you guys comment your question that you have for the author. Also, make sure you fill out the QR code as well in the top corner. Really helps us improve here at Students with King. So make sure you guys, there's the QR code right there. So make sure you guys scan that. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how we can improve. Really helps us out here at the King Center with Students with King Reading Corner. So talking about leadership, still on the subject of leadership, teaching students about being a student leader inside and outside the classroom, right? What are some other strategies that students can be leaders within the classroom, and then also give some examples of how they can be leaders outside the classroom as well?
Yeah. So one thing that I really appreciate what my students do, and I try to encourage them to do, is to just to be consistent and be the best at what you have to do. I believe that it's important to also take initiative as well. I'm very impressed when my students, take initiative to kind of help others, maybe hold a door open and clean up and pick up trash. Like, those are small things that you can do that allows you to stand out and allows other people to really respect you for who you are. So leadership, there's a big scale, a large scale of how you can actually implement leadership within yourself, but it can be something as simple as what I just said, or, either creating different initiatives in your school. I know when I had my program, Boys in the Good, one of my students came up with the idea of having a canned food drive. And I thought that was phenomenal. So that was one of the staple programs that we implemented in our school, just having a canned food drive. And I thought that was just incredible, but it doesn't have to be anything that major. Leadership goes a long way. When someone sees who you are and how you consider others and how you work hard to set an example for others, it truly, truly goes a long way.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Oh, we got a comment from B2M Crew saying, I'm enjoying this. Thank you. We appreciate that. Nicole Adams, great job and messages. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
And then we got another question. What do you enjoy most about teaching the youth? What have they taught you? That's a great question. Thank you.
That is a wonderful question. Oh, man. What do I enjoy most about teaching the youth? I enjoy building connections with them, and knowing that I have the ability to shape their future for the better. I really work as a teacher that doesn't just work to teach the curriculum. I believe in teaching children about life and about being kind to each other and just being better people, whether you're inside the classroom or outside the classroom. So throughout my years of being a teacher, I've been a teacher for 15 years now. I've built great connections, and I always love when my students come back and talk about how they've been positively impacted with their experience in my classroom. So I just love having the ability to shape the future, and knowing that our kids, are acquiring what they need to be better people.
That's
Yeah.
amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And then, and also, what have they taught you? What are some things that you?
What have they taught me? Oh man, they actually make me a better teacher. I believe that good teachers never stop learning. They never stop learning. So when I come in contact with students with different backgrounds and different personalities, it allows me to learn how to have more compassion, more understanding, and just strive to be better. Because every year I get different kids, and every year I learn something new about children and what's happening in their world, and it just makes me better. And I love that. Your best teachers are the ones that never stop learning. So that's what I appreciate the most.
Yeah, facts. So what grade do you teach?
I currently teach 7th grade. I teach middle school.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I remember my 7th grade days, man. Those were awesome. Yeah, man, that's fantastic. And what school?
I'm at Woodward Academy here in Atlanta.
Woodward. Okay, yeah. I know where Woodward is. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my been here for 3 years now. But I've taught in Baltimore, I've taught in Atlanta, so I'm at Woodward. I'm incredibly happy here. Great kids, great families, great staff. I love it here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I just got another comment. We want to make sure that we got to get you, when we have our in-person students with King, we got to get you to bring your kids to the King Center to have them listen in on the live interactive civil rights panel and stuff. So
absolutely. I would love that. Definitely.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. I'm sure they'll love that. So gotta make sure we get you in the loop for that, so you can bring them and see how everything is in person, because it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool program.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and I want to ask you this, right? So this is Students with King Reading Corner. Of course, all of this inspired by Dr. King. What I want to know is, what are some ways that he has had an impact on you?
You know what? When I think about the aims that I talked about in the book, I realized that a lot of the lessons that I've learned have been from important leaders that I've admired and looked up to in my life. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to live while Dr. King was making a great impact, but his impact still lives on today. So when we talk about leadership, giving, optimism, originality, determination, those are aims that I believe that Dr. King worked hard to instill in his mission. And that's something that inspires me every day to make sure that I can leave a long-lasting impact as well. So he has definitely impacted me, and I'm just grateful for organizations and such as the King Center and the Reading Corner for continuing that mission. So yeah, that's how I've been impacted. Never ends.
I love that, man. That's fantastic. Great way to close it out. And then I also want to ask you, go ahead, shout yourself out, let people know where they can follow you, and also let people know where they can get your books.
Yeah. So my social media is actually located right here on the screen. It's Da'Nall Tyrell. That's my social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. My books are available on Amazon, and you can also order autograph copies from my website, which is Da'NallWilmer.com. It's my first and last name, Da'NallWilmer.com. So all 3 of my books are available on Amazon and my website.
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to our Students with King Reading Corner. We really appreciate you so much for coming, and appreciate you sharing your expertise and teaching the students about student leadership inside and outside the classroom, talking about giving, talking about determination, all that good stuff, man. This was a really great interactive learning Students with King. So we really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely. What an honor. Thank you again.
Oh, yeah, of course. And guys, thank y'all so much for staying tuned in to this episode of Students with King Reading Corner. Got a couple of announcements for you. Of course, going to say that one more time. Make sure you guys take time to fill out that survey. Really helps us improve here at Students with King Reading Corner and at the King Center. So make sure you go ahead, scan that QR code on your screen. Go ahead and take our survey. Only takes a couple of seconds to fill that survey out. Like I said, it really helps us improve here at Students with King Reading Corner and lets us know how we can get better and how best we can serve you all as well that are watching. So we really appreciate you guys if y'all could fill that out. Also, guys, hey, believe it or not, it's almost here. That time of year is almost here in January. You guys already know we got the amazing King holiday. We have an amazing lineup coming up. They have already announced, they have just announced the lineup. So you want to see the lineup of amazing events we got coming up, you can go to the King Center social media. Also go on the King Center website as well. And then you can see all the events. I believe it's kicking off with a kickoff reception, and then of course ending with the commemorative service at Ebenezer Baptist Church. So make sure you guys go ahead, check out those amazing events. We would love to see you guys there. Would love to meet some of you guys at some of the amazing events. And then, we would love for you all to come and attend all the various events we got that week. And that would mean so much to us. And make sure you bring a friend as well. Bring a friend, bring some family members and all that good stuff. So we greatly appreciate that. Also, one more time, don't forget the survey. And guys, once again, thank you all so much for allowing me to be your moderator. I'm Tyreek Wynn. Make sure you guys follow me on TyreekWynn.iHeartRadio. Also listen to me on iHeartRadio platforms as well. And I will see you guys next month on the December edition of Students with King Reading Corner. Have an amazing Thanksgiving and have an amazing holiday.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bernice A. King.
And I'm Dr. Kimberly P. Johnson.
And we are the co-authors of
It Starts With Me. Well, it starts with me.
No, I think it really starts with me.
No.
Well, maybe it just starts with you.
It starts with you.
This is a book for children and the rest of the world about love. A powerful word that really can change and transform our world. Now, this girl here is Amora. So Amora is going to take us on a journey around the world with her friends, talking about how we can be loved.
Thank you so much for reading this book. It Starts With Me. Dr. King's vision is coming to life, and you guys are going to carry that vision into the world. Have fun reading.
We want our children and you, parents, to be loved in the way you speak, in the way you act, and in the way you think. That's what it starts with me about. It starts with me. I am the one who can fix the world with love.
It starts with me.